Hello and welcome to another episode of Forest Forever. And today we're going to have an interesting episode. We should have the youth intake coming up very shortly. But first of all, let's run the intro. So as I said, the youth intake should be coming any day now, maybe this week, probably next week latest. Then we get to see the fresh bunch of faces into the club, and I'll give you a little overview as to how it's projected to be in a second. But first of all, we'll go through the fixtures that have been played since we was last together on camera. So our next game after the Man City game was the Burnley game, which we had a nice 1-0 win. Very tight, managed to snag it, lovely stuff. Next up was Fulham, which we absolutely thrashed 4-0. Nice to see. Plus Miguel Angel Guerrero, our impact sub that we retained from last season, came on and snagged 2 goals in 2 minutes, which is exactly what you want to see. This is our Olivier Giroud, if you compared it to Chelsea in real life this season. Next up was Arsenal, and the winning sprees was happening, was banging more goals in. 3-1 win, lovely. João Pedro with a brace as well. Next up, we went to Liverpool, and they absolutely wiped the floor with us, and it was not a fun game, that's for sure. Especially with 3 goals coming in the last 12 minutes, 14 minutes pretty much. This was just a consolation goal, really. Next up was Crystal Palace, and now we're starting to turn into a bad bit of form. It's 2-2. We concede pretty much straight after we score a goal to go ahead, and we just can't seem to break through. I think we did have one disallowed goal as well from, I think, Bermejo, which is unfortunate. It would have brought the game through for us, gave us the 3 points, but it happens. But next up, we come against Leicester, and they managed to draw with us. I guess it's kind of unfortunate for us that we drew because of a penalty. I think sometimes the penalty calls are dead tight, and more often than not, the penalties are given. It's kind of the same with if a goal happens and you're offside, it never ever stands. It always gets ruled out. So unlucky game, still a point. Can't complain too much about it. And the last game we played was against Norwich, in which we managed to draw very late on, and they managed to pick it straight after a minute. So it looks like we're having a problem with closing games out, and it looks like we have general defensive issues for the time being, which is not great because we've been doing pretty well for the most part of the season. And then in our last 4 games, this is 6, 8, 9, 12 goals we've conceded in 4 games, which is definitely not good. If we halved that, say these games here, then we'd be in a lot better position. We'd have more points on the board, and this wouldn't be as big, this 6-2 loss. But today we're going to play Newcastle and Southampton, and hopefully in this time we do get our youth intake, which I will now show you what is projected to be like. So apparently we have a lot of wingers, which is ideal because we need some wingers. We have 1 goalkeeper which looks great, 2 centre backs that look promising, centre mid which looks decent, a forward who can be considered a fine prospect, which is good because I think we could do with an extra forward who's going to be decent. We have a young Irish goalkeeper, which seems to be a common theme because in our last one, Ian Deasy was a young Irish goalkeeper who was pretty good and still looks pretty good now. So maybe we're having an Irish goalkeeper theme every season. And apparently we have a golden generation on the way in, which sounds nice, but will it actually happen? Will they actually be as good as Antonio Moore claims they will be? This is our lineup that's going to go into Newcastle. They are bottom of the league, so I want to play some of the weaker players in our team. Jordan Smith comes in because Samba's got some food poisoning for a couple of days, so that's fine. It's just going to be 1 game. Sugawara would have played, but he's injured, so Christie's going to retain his spot right back. Mbe So is going to come in, who's not been performing that great, and his potential is starting to dip from the almost 4 stars that he was to now 3.5. So we might be looking to force him out at some point just to cash in on him because he's not really going to play. He's not an ideal backup for the time being. So we want to get someone who can back up McKenna and Worrell as much as possible and not be in the development process. Kilman's going to come back in a left back. McKenna, of course, is our best player at the club at the moment. Yates is now going to come out to the right. Almeida has had a little increase to 3.5 stars. We're going to put him in the centre and have him as like the person who holds his spot. And Yates and Gutierrez can just fly around and do whatever. Then we're going to have Maiton and Neto as our wingers, and João Pedro will be leading the line as always. And I think I'm going to try him as a complete forward from now and see if it makes much difference to the game. Maiton now is pretty much staying on almost every game as well because he's at a point where he's starting to play all right. He's starting to grow a bit more. He was 2.5 star maybe a couple of months back, so he is starting to develop, and he's someone that we want to continue developing because he should be a decent winger for us. Hopefully we get 3 points in this game, get us out of bad form. Come on, Pedro. We don't seem to be retaining the ball that well. Nice, the overlap. The switch. Very ambitious. Very ambitious. Unlucky. Big goal kick. Somehow no one's won that and Maiton will take that. Yes, unlucky boy. We're starting to look like we're doing better than the last 3 games or so. We just need to start getting shots on target and stop doing shots like that. We haven't been the one to score first for maybe 3 games now, 4 games maybe. Starting to damage us. We're having to come back every game. We have João Pedro in our arsenal. I think João Pedro was a good signing. But all the cost is going to cost us, I guess, in the next couple of weeks, next couple of seasons. I think he's going to be worth it. He's playing well. He's looking good. He's scoring goals against some big opposition. He's starting to justify his fee. I've just gave the players a little team talk individually, saying, "Lovely stuff, Pedro." Basically, just using the individual team talk, saying, "You've got the ability to turn this around for us. Get out there and do it." Pedro Neto said, "All right then, boss, I'm on it." Made a few changes, brought Bermejo on for Maiton on the left wing, Rojas for Almeida, and Lewis Ferguson for Ryan Yates. All in a like-for-like. If we get one more goal, I'm happy to sit defensive and see it out. I think he's going to get sent off. Free kick, it's fine. Big save, Smith. I just really want the points. And Newcastle have been banging shots on target. Very defensive, let's keep it now. Why don't we have this sort of shots on target? We're really not doing ourselves any favours here. We just can't close out a game. So that's a disappointing game. We should have won that one. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna focus our training on some more technical stuff like the chance creation, and chance conversion, because we've not been finishing our chances. We've not been having shots on target. Which, I mean, if we score enough goals, it doesn't matter how much we concede. We should be able to. Our attack should be able to pick up the slack sometimes and take the game by the scruff of the neck if our defence is not pulling through for us. Or we have Smith in goal, for example, who's not going to save everything, but he can only do so much. It shouldn't be all on him to prevent everything. Our attackers need to take the scruff of the neck. The attackers need to take the game by the scruff of the neck. But on to the next game. Time for the Southampton game. Let's get into this. The rotation things that I've done here is put Bermejo in at left wing for Maiton, bring Ribeiro for Kilman, Mbeso is out for Worrell, Samba's brought back in, Ferguson is now the Mazzala as opposed to Gutierrez who was there before, and that's all the changes we've done for this game. Danny Ings has been scoring a decent amount of goals this season, so I hope he doesn't punish us at least too much. Swing it in then, son. That works as well. Nice one, Xiao. He's always there. He's a fox in the box. Good start. We've been working on the chance creation and chance conversion. Southampton are 5th in the league as well. Too easy for him. Come on, boys. Let's try and snag it and shut up shop or something. Or bang 2 goals in if you like. That works. It's almost the second game in a row where we've scored from, like, in the first minute again. Big save by Fraser Forster. Big guy. What is that? Oh, how did you miss that? It was an open goal. A little injury to Almeida, so Rojas will come in for him. We're going to bring Miguel Angel Guerrero on. Let him have a chance to be that impact sub that we wanted at the start of the season. João Pedro's gone to the left wing. And for our last change, we're going to have Gutierrez come in for Ferguson. Fraser Forster seems to be saving everything. Not ideal for us. Poor throw-in. There he is. Let's shut up shop. That's it. Lovely stuff. Just what we needed. Nice little win to get us back on again. Apparently we can only beat people above us at the table, which isn't great because there wasn't many people above us. So now that takes us to 8th, with several teams needing to play 1 or 2 games in Tottenham's case. Look at this though, down here. Look, we've got Leeds, Tottenham, Newcastle, Leicester. All these teams hanging around at the bottom. I think relegation's almost guaranteed here for Leeds and anyone underneath. That's the relegation battle now. So we've definitely escaped that. But what I'll do is I'll whiz ahead to the youth intake so we can have an idea of everyone that we're going to have, and then probably wrap up the episode from there. So, but on points, we must be 100% not able to be relegated then, because bonuses have been paid out already. So we have the youth intake. Just before I show that though, Grabban has decided he's going to retire, which is ideal because we weren't going to renew his contract. He's 34 years old. Good for him. Okay. I like Andrew Smith. He looks the sort of thing we need, and he's a striker natural. We could push João Pedro to the wing if he starts becoming half decent. Cathal O'Toole looks like a decent centre-back. We can maybe try and get him developing for a ball-playing centre-back, just as we want. Ralph Gino Baptiste looks alright. I guess we're going to retain everyone from, like, Ross Stacey. Anyone below, we might keep Connor Ashworth as well, but everyone below that is probably not going to get a contract with us, at least a youth contract. I don't understand these undersized, Fabio Cannavaro-sized centre-backs. It's not too bad. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get sneaky and send some scouts out as soon as possible to try and snap up any youngsters from the good renown youth academies like Crewe, maybe Derby as well, because they've got a pretty solid youth academy. Poach some of them. They don't deserve them. And some other good academies, and try and see if we can maybe pick up 1 or 2 for nothing. See if we get lucky. Most of them are usually already signed to a contract before we can do that, but we'll see what we can try and do. But if you've enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like down below. If there's anything you'd like me to do in particular, anything you'd like to see in these videos that I'm missing out, then please ensure to drop that down below in the comments. Ensure to subscribe also if you want to keep up to date with everything that I'm doing and anything that I might be doing in the future. And as always, have a good one.